Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Nobunaga's Ambition, Sphere of Influence. I'm the Mysterious JG. Starting a new recording session here, so it's been a while for me. For you guys, probably has not been a while. But, been a while, it's not been a while. But the difference really is that, I know the last time I played, I saved my game and then fooled around a little bit, for a couple more months just to see what was going to happen. Because at our last stopping off point, we had seen the Hojo Alliance run its natural course. I established the fact that there's nothing in-game preventing us from getting the Hojo Alliance going again right away. Kind of feels like cheating for some reason, even if it isn't. I mean, then again, did it make sense that the Hojo Alliance had a specific time limit on it? I think I'd said I wasn't going to reform an alliance. I was just going to kind of let it roll, but I don't know. An alliance with the Nagao, an alliance with the Imago will basically accomplish the same thing, and we got good terms with most of the others, and we already have an alliance with the Matsudaira. We're on good terms with most of the parties that were in the alliance, and I was starting to run into an issue, and because I'm trying to upload a video a day, it's kind of tricky. I will wonder what's going on. It's like, oh, I don't understand this game mechanic. Maybe someone will tell me in the comments. But in order to have a video a day ready to go, I have to play ahead. So it'll take a while for people to catch up. So people may have already explained it, but as of my recording this, I don't understand the message I'm seeing that says, Lord, there is no one who can, run the castle. Please please control the castles directly. It has to have something to do with your daimyo's sphere of influence, like his range of control, and I don't know. I think you probably can eventually. I know you can make districts and have the AI run your district, but in this game, I'm not crazy about the way the computers have been laying out my cities, and I'm wondering if you put cities in a district under another officer's control, will they start building cities in ways that I don't like? I don't know. I don't know, but I do know that I had also promised that once we got out of this anti-Hojo coalition, we were going to take a break here with Nagamasa Kuroda, checking it out, what's going on. But we were going to take a break to actually look in. So, like, within the next few turns, Odawara Castle will fall to the Matsudaira rather than to us. As goofy as that is. I don't even understand the logistics. We've got slightly smaller. They're just barely outnumber us. Now, with these guys are ready to help out, they actually do outnumber us by over 4,000 troops. This force that's taking over, but it just bugs me after all that work. Meanwhile, somehow Nohime Kicho rather gets credit for taking this city if things go the same way that they did off-screen. Not off-screen, but in the last video because I saved, and so we'll see all this again. And then Master Miller's army is going to take Aida Castle, whatever it is. And I don't think we have enough troops there, but it's tempting. Or maybe to get one or two more units to march out and support. It is awfully tempting to try to just keep pressing on. I think we finish. I think we may want to finish the Takeda before we finish the Hojo. After all, they betrayed us. But that being said, we don't want to let the Hojo linger because they've got the this river valley here. They've got some excellent cities. I mean, just look at all the districts floating around these cities. That has got to be a hell of a city for like producing troops and gold and whatnot. Odawara Castle is, of course, one of their main bases. I have a sneaking suspicion this is the castle it's going to turn out I'm not allowed to directly control because it's the furthest geographically from Gifu. So this might be where, like, Nobunaga can control castles directly in this region, but now the game's like, come on, man, build some districts. But this is not the point. The point right now. Oh, and I was also warned to keep an eye out for treasures, because eventually a globe would be offered for sale. And we need to make sure that we get the globe, and that I don't give it away to an officer for treasure, because I'll need it for that quest. But a quick run through of the officers is in order because it's time for us to check in on our created officers. At first, as always, is Akira Hato, who should probably be working for the... I would think she's working for the Matsudaira now, because she probably got... Yep, that is correct. She was, of course, a retainer of the Imagawa. I don't remember, did she start out working for the Matsudaira? She might have done, because I thought I remembered trying to hire her. And then the Imagawa took some cities from the Matsudaira, and she went to work for them, and now she's back to working for the Matsudaira. Her required loyalty is very low, which basically means if you take over the city that she's in and abolish the clan she was working for, she'll probably come to work for you. But otherwise, you know, she's just going to kind of do her thing. She doesn't, you know, she just wants to go in and do her job and get paid and go home at the end of the day. And that's Akira Hato's whole deal. I've said from very early on in the LP that I'd love to have her in my force because she's a great domestic officer, and you don't need every single officer to be a super warrior. But she has been using her domestic gifts to help others and not to help me so far. She's in Okazaki Castle. I don't think we care. Yeah, basically she is still within There's Delicious Taco's portrait on somebody else. But yeah, she's she went to work for the Matsudaira again after, because by my design they took out the Imagawa. Here's a Hongonju girl. She probably does not have a bio. Yeah, she has the contributed greatly bio. Alza Rhine would be next. Alza Rhine is still working for the Takeda. He has kind of split stats, like a little bit of well, I guess he's overall more of a war officer, but his leadership isn't that high for a created officer. He does war, but he's a veteran officer. He's been given a treasure, lord of a castle. He burns with loyalty for the Takeda, and I'd be curious to see what happens when the Takeda fall. We have actually used him in combat as an ally, and I imagine we will be fighting against him as an opponent now that the Takeda have betrayed us. Next is... oh god, make sure I can get this right. Atata Ora Ora. Hope I did that okay. He's on the march. He actually just got done helping us take out the Suzuki Samurai, so he should be on his way back home. But he's one of ours, and he's been pretty valuable. Really good overall stats. Emits strong loyalty. Did I give him a treasure? I never ended up giving him a treasure. I didn't need to. He's lord of a castle, and but with the boost that officers who are talented get, it works out okay. We got Aya Oda, who I guess married into the clan, or I don't remember how that happened. And Ayame Takeda, who I keep thinking is some kind of created officer, but she's not. She's an actual in-game. She shows discontent on occasion. It's kind of weird that she's even gets on with us that well. I guess because she thinks she's a Takeda clan member. But whatever. Next created officer would be Charlton Jaina, who is, you know, she's been a feature throughout this LP. We've been seeing a lot of her, so there's not a whole lot to say here, really. She's got a treasure. I'm pretty sure I gave her a title at one point. What is she, like the Lord of Bungo or something? She is the Tango Prefect and a maiden warrior, and basically she's just got really good intelligence and pull stats. Her overall stats are high enough that occasionally we see her in combat, but she really doesn't belong there. She's got the diplomat trait. She's been a key to the strategy of controlling the land by controlling relations with the different forces. She's received a rank. She's got super loyalty. It's ridiculous. Part of it is I've been giving her rewards just because she's been valuable and not because I'm trying to manipulate it so that I give rewards to officers that would otherwise cause trouble. Her required loyalty isn't very high, but she's got a treasure, she's talented, so that she likes being with people who reward talent. Veteran, rank, she's just the shiz. She's Dr. Leo You know, Sengoku, Japanese female form. Moving on, Kolio Wing would be next. A name I recognize. I'm trying to remember where we've seen Kolio Wing in this LP, or if we have. Some interesting for you. You're probably going to turn out to be a man. Oh no, you actually are a lady. So hey, she sounds like a pretty interesting character. But here's Kolio Wing. Kolio Wing has gone to work for one of these Jabra clans. And he's an older character. I guess he's one of the guys who didn't start out like exactly young enough to be in the LP. Kind of split his stats pretty much. He's a veteran officer, and things have been pretty quiet for him because his clan's not been a major player. I believe his clan are vassals of the Amago, or allies. I might be wrong. After Kolio Wing, next is Cory Hall, conveniently enough, who's part of the Uchi clan. So eventually, we are probably going to be doing battle with Cory Hall. He's going to be a pain in our ass much later. He might be similar to the way that Lethal Feline's avatar has been a pain in our ass. He's got excellent war stats, and he's a loyal, very loyal officer of one of our last clans that we'll be fighting. He's been given a treasure which gave him plus 11 loyalty. Wow. Any way I can see what that treasure is? No? I'd love to see what that treasure was, but I don't know a way to do that. Lord of the Castle, veteran officer. He appreciates the fact that his clan is powerful. He's got a couple of negatives, but mostly it's because he's progressive, and the Uchi are not a progressive clan. He has a progressive tenet, and yeah, is my master seriously going to interfere in the land of us retainers? That might be, I don't know, that's some kind of policy the Uchi have that are hurting their loyalty with this guy. But I'm sure it's working out for them okay. Next up would be Deshaun Miller. He is an officer of the Takeda. Hold on a second, folks. Sorry about that. Okay. Takeda officer. Is it? Damn it. Oh, I went down a whole page there. Alright, went back to the Lady Ninja. Takeda officer, he's a veteran, he's Lord of the Castle. They're not going to have a lot of Castle Lord loyalty bonuses soon because they're not going to have a lot of castles soon. I'll tell you what. He's kind of a mixed bag, but he's primarily a war general, it looks like to me, so we'll be seeing him in battle pretty soon. Delicious Tacos is on the march. Almost certainly marching against the Hojo. We've done a good job of not jumping out back to the map every single time, so I think we can afford to come in and see what's up with Delicious Tacos. Because Delicious Tacos, it's probably some young guy will be out in this throwdown too. Or maybe not. It looks like they, yeah, I believe the Emiliardo Peacecraft is part of this attack too, I thought I saw. His name just makes me sad. I think they're actually going to take a city from the Hojo. These things just get worse for the Hojo. Hojo didn't really put up as much of a fight for that city as they did for some of the ones that I took from them. But one of the reasons that they had some young guy looks like he's heading back towards their territory. But yeah, honestly, I mean, I say that, but there was some pretty big battle that went on right around this area over between Clan Paperfan with like an eyeball versus Clan Triforce here. Cannot now remember the name of these guys. The Satake clan. Yes, Satake clan have actually done pretty well for themselves just by, I guess they had good relations with the Hojo who decided to expand to the west and north, which triggered my wrath. And now the Satake are kind of jumping in and taking advantage of that a little bit. But getting back to it, you saw, I think they benefited from the fact that the Hojo were already taking a bit of a beating. But if we can skip all the way back down to Delicious Tacos. Delicious Tacos has very evenly spread stats, so above average at everything because of just the overpowered nature of what I gave you guys to work with in creating your characters. Pretty high fairly high required loyalty, and can't quite keep up. It has not been given any kind of treasure or anything like that. So, you know, delicious tacos might eventually, if I take out the Hojo and decide I want to just make peace with the Date and the Nagao and concentrate on the West, delicious tacos is one of those officers I might be trying to hire from them. Hire away while maintaining peace. This guy's awesome looking. Dosetsu Inuyama, Satomi Hakken warrior. He carried the bead Chu for loyalty and had a peony birthmark on his left shoulder. His desire for revenge on Sadamasa Ogigaya could put him at odds with the others. He just looks like a badass. His leadership stats ain't that great. He's probably, like, historically, like, if you knew who he was, he probably was a major league fuck-up at some point. Dylan Disaster. He is married to the lovely Kasumi, and he is our next creative character to check in on. He is working for the Nagao. He had been part of Clan Vulture Clan, which, of course, is never really a thing. But, maybe 38 is not... How old is Delicious Tacos? 33. Yeah, I guess everyone who was here at the start of the LP is getting up into their 30s in game years now. So, he's been made kin, so he's pretty much locked down with them forever. It's really going to be hard to turn this guy's loyalty around. So, he's working for the Nagao, and he's considering how many good war officers they have, 82 in leadership and a 69 in valor. He's probably not a big part of their war effort. He's like back there making their cities work. So good for him. This guy looks pretty badass. He supported Nobunaga and Hideyoshi, sided with the Western Army, and was executed. Oh, well, he still looked badass. Sorry, things didn't work out, but he just changed masters. Oh. So he just got hired by the Mori, who are the force he should be working for, really. And then we've got the Earl King. He's on the march. The Hojo clan is getting stronger every day. He has the delusional trait. Now, he's a veteran officer, gets along well with his master. He seems fairly happy working for them, and he doesn't have a particularly high required loyalty. I won't skip out and see exactly what fight he's involved with, but any Hojo officer with decent military is going to be constantly on the march because they're being assaulted from so many different directions. And we got Fat John at Uchi Castle. He's still working he has very, very low required loyalty and very high loyalty. So you will see him fighting for the Shimazu probably for the rest of the game. He is like a super warrior-oriented dude. He's got the shutout skill. I'm curious what that one does. Occasionally, enemies' attack power is greatly lowered when your intelligence is higher. Ooh, that's nasty, especially when he's got 90 intelligence. Veteran officer, lord of a castle. So, he's not currently on the march. Even though the Shimazu are involved in a war with the Uchi right now, as I understand it. You got Fujioda. Burns with loyalty. Wow. We had a couple of those female officers who we got from other clans who just, like, hate us. Like, there was a couple of female officers with the family named Oda who were related to, sort of the other side of the family. But, she's got all the bonuses going. Other than, she wants the same kind of world as Nobunaga, but doesn't get along with him personally. In every other respect, she's really freaking happy. And her required loyalty is 1, so I think it would be impossible to turn her. Of course, her stats aren't setting the world on fire, and I shouldn't even be checking her. I'm supposed to be checking the creative characters. So, with that in mind, let's head for Garth Morrigan. See, I see all these female officers, and I get curious, and then I have to remember, no, it's not that they put a ton of female officers and research their bios, it's that they put in, like, all these women they know existed from marriage records, but they don't know anything about them, so they all have generic bios. It's just what they do. Garth Morrigan burns with loyalty and syphilis. Sorry, Garth. That wasn't nice. Yeah, Garth's been an officer in our force for a long time, and he's got very kind of very well-rounded sort of guy. So he's been in battles and stuff, but he's mostly just somebody I like to keep around for domestics. And Given a treasure, he's a veteran, he's, like I said, burning with loyalty. He's currently on the march. I'm curious, and do I want to try to figure out where? Nah, that'll just eat up time in the video. He's Kiriyami Palace. Oh, let's figure this out. Where is Garth Morgan? He might be marching against the Takeda with trying to figure out who is. Okay, now I couldn't figure out exactly where you go to look for a minute. He's probably part of the force that just got done finishing off the Suzuki. I'd be curious to see now if the defeat of the Suzuki is going to mean the Chosakabe just kind of calm down, or if the Chosakabe start trying to take the territory that used to belong to the Suzuki. And Saruko is hanging out with Atata Ora Ora. Keep an eye on that guy. I think he's going to rebel because he's upset about the way I say his name. Garth Morgan's hanging out with Mr. P. That's what it is. Alright. Back to it. I don't know what the fastest way is to skip through these names, but no, I actually went too far now. So next up would be Grimmeth Reaper. Grimmeth Reaper's been pretty quiet in this LP because he gave himself a domestic build, and he made himself a pretty powerful officer, but not the kind of officer who was going to be showcased a lot. It's fine. He hasn't been popping up a whole lot that I've noticed. Yeah, he's being very well taken care of by the Hojo. He's got like one strike, some policy he doesn't like about land management, and otherwise he's pretty good to go. Is he conservative? That might be. Let me see if he's conservative. No, he's progressive. See, for some reason I thought the interfere in the land of us retainers thing was something that your conservative officers say when you're progressive. But I think it might be something progressive officers say when some of your policies are conservative, like centralized control. Anyways, you might recall, he started out with all these skills because he kind of, you know, made a play for, I want to be superpowered character. Well, I guess I told him and Lethal that they were going to be super characters, and I was joking around. And he took me up on it a bit. But no, there's not a whole lot to say about Grimmeth. He's still floating around with the Hojo, as he has been for a long time. But because they have so many great war officers, and he made his war stats his dump stats, and wanted to be really good at domestics, he's just sort of quietly making life more difficult for the enemies of the Hojo. Oh, and I believe, no, he doesn't have a spouse. One of the Hojo guys got married into the clan, I thought. I might be thinking of something else. Guo Away is an officer of the Takeda, as he has. He's a trick master, Guo Away. And we will probably be fighting him because he's got the war stats. We give him, you know, he's given a treasure. He has different visions of the nation than his lord Harunoba, who is basically Shingen, but the events haven't triggered that made him become Shingen. Han Shapiro, she's one of my creative officers, isn't she? Yes. Hana Shapiro, which I have miswritten as Hans Shapiro. She's only 20. No, she's 38. I'm sorry, she served 22 years. And she's with the Nagao. I can't remember how long she's been with them. But they've given her a treasure and made her a veteran officer, which has kept her reasonably happy. And she's one of those political type officers, which is why she's not making a whole lot of waves in the LP itself. Hans Verst would be next. Hans Verst is, he's been hanging out with the Nanbu for a long time. And there's not a whole lot to say about any of the Nanbu officers because things have been pretty quiet up in that part of the country. Here's super badass looking Haruhisa Amago. He just looks so fucking cool. Izumo Daimyo. He became head of the clan after his grandfather Tsunehisa died. He died while fighting against Motonari Mori. So, like, in whichever Samurai Warriors game first had the Mori as playable, which is probably 4, or at least that's the first one I played, I think, he was probably a generic, like, he was probably the lead officer in a battle. You play as the Mori when there's no playable characters on the other side because the Imago don't rate. But he's the governor. In Birmingham, I met the governor. If you ever in Houston, boy, you better do right. You better not. Oh, Birmingham, I met the governor. I'm mixing up 2 different songs. I'm mixing up Midnight Special with Sweet Home Alabama. So, not even the same band. I'm an idiot. Anyway, he's not a critical character, so I'm not really supposed to be focusing on him. But I feel like I'm no, I'm not quite halfway through this list. I'll pick up the pace a bit. How far do I need to get? I want to get to Night Demon and then stop. Oof, that means I gotta go a lot faster. Alright. After Hans first would be J4W Pirate. I don't know what force he ended up with because he didn't want to. Ooh, jeez. Haramude. Crazy badass. Triggered the Tenbu Rebellion by disagreeing with his father. He made effective use of marriages in his diplomacy. But yeah, no, next up for us is J4W Pirate, and I... See, this is the guy who's supposed to become Shingen. But the event didn't trigger. If I play another LP of this, I might play as the Takeda. It'd just be interesting, because they're a powerful group, but they're so different in terms of like their character and their starting point and everything than the Oda. Or it might be fun to play as the Shimazu or even the Date. But anyway, let me do my alphabet: A B C D E F G H I J. Okay, I gotta skip through all the H's. Okay, can't do that in my head. Had to do it out loud. Here's another guy with a neat-looking portrait. Set up a trap. Burning castle. Yeah, you always see these guys with like a portrait where there's something like a fire or something, and usually it's a historical event it's referring to. Allied with Oda while serving the Toyotomi, he became shogun after the victory at Sekigahara. That would be our old friend. And now J4W Pirate is still working for the Hongonji, but that's the weird thing about the Hongonji, they're spread around. So even though I besieged the castle he was in and there was no place for him to escape to, he just went to another castle held by the Hongonji. His loyalty is maxed out too, because he's been given like apparently a really fucking nice treasure. I don't think I'll get along too well with my master. I get captured by the enemy because my master doesn't know how to fight a war. I can't keep up with my master, but he's doing things. None of that can overcome the big-ass treasure they gave him. But we captured him at one point. I had to think about killing him because it doesn't seem like he's ever going to join us. Join us. KG Mystery, who cares about that jobber? Well, I guess I'm working for the Shimazu now. Ooh, but my loyalty's not that great. Isn't Shimazu clan my sworn enemy? Yeah, it'll be tough to hire JG Mystery. Not only is he really fucking far away, his required loyalty is very low, which I set it by design. I want him to be like a stalwart, kind of behind-the-scenes political officer for whatever force he worked for. But the force he started out with, just by chance, was just too weak. It's really surprising he stayed with that force for as long as he has. But he is... I'm just looking at his age. Oh, God. But he's with the Shimazu now, and once that Isn't Shimazu clan my sworn enemy goes away, his loyalty will be up at 10, and I don't think anything's going to knock it low enough for him to be hired away. He's the kind of guy who will go to work for you if you conquer the force he's working for. Jason Oroji, his sweet-ass ninja portrait. He's with the Nagao. He has been with them for a while. And Lord of the Castle, veteran officer. They haven't given him a treasure, though. But they made him Lord of the Castle, so they must be fairly pleased with him. Jiao Yang is a created officer, even though he had a name that was plausibly a real guy's name. He is with the Uchi, so eventually we'll be fighting him, although he's a mostly political type guy. He's Lord of the Castle, veteran officer. He got captured. He's progressive, and the Uchi are not, which is hurting his loyalty a bit, but he's another guy who's required loyalty loyalty wasn't that high, so he's not that hard to keep happy. And here's this guy's got awesome stats. 10th head of the Izaki Shimazu. He made Takahisa Shimazu the head of the clan. He did many things to establish Shimazu. He's one of these guys who, again, most of what I know about Sengoku era Japan I learned from Samurai Warriors games, which are set later on. So a lot of what role the Shimazu do have in that game is about the next generation of guys who took over when they were not quite as powerful anymore. So, well, his loyalty is going to be pretty high. I'm kind of surprised he even has loyalty. He must not be the actual clan head then. Yeah, I guess technically he's not. I thought he was the daimyo. He's not. Whatever. I'm trying to rush through this, but I keep getting distracted by... here's another guy I've heard of. I keep getting distracted. The Junko family, they kind of share this... The Junkos, the Junko bots here, they all kind of do the shaved head thing. But, yeah, sorry. Kaidaka should be the next one we're looking at here. At some point, oh, look at that portrait. Widely known as the Dragon of Echigo, Bishamonten. Yeah, I don't know why he's not getting his name he's supposed to get, but I guess he ain't gonna get that name. There's Kaidaka, and she's with the Shimazu. She's been with the Shimazu for 15 years as opposed to the 2 years that JG Mystery's been with them. And never got married. Her mom always calls her and asks her about that. No, she's Lord of the Castle, veteran officer. She's pretty happy working with the... She's progressive. Gets on pretty well with the Shimazu, who kind of work things that same way. Konorango is next. See, there's a dude who looked like he was going to be a Takada guy, but he wasn't. There's a guy who looks like he's a created officer, but he's not. He's actually badass eye patch dude who failed against Kenshin at some point. Now here is somebody who does not have a clan. Oh, they're a prisoner. Probably a prisoner of a... Oh, you know what? I bet you we captured her. Yeah, Kaori Suzuki. Yeah, so this will be somebody who will... Once we get back to base, she will join us and be incredibly pissed off at us because we wiped out her clan. And we'll probably end up being hired by somebody else, so whatever. Let's not get you too used to her being around. She's got the delicious tacos hats. There's nothing else about her that's really all that exciting. Yeah, you're a child of somebody. You're a child of somebody. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees. Conrongos. See, I found another one with no clan. Shimazu. Oh, he must be a member of that offshoot Shimazu group. 20 loyalty for Katsuie, which is good. Yeah, not much of that is coming from his veteran status either. Conrongos. I need to like discipline myself not to keep stopping just because I see awesome portraits like this dude or this scary guy or this chick or this fake Charlton Jaina. Conrongo. Bronstrom. And here's Conrongo with Buckethead. He's married to Tsuki, which makes me want to look Tsuki up. But I'm sure that she'll just have generic bio. He's working for the Uchi, and he's got good enough stats that we'll probably be facing him in the field. But I think I'll get along well with my master and my legion. I want to create the same... Okay, Lord of a Castle. He appears to have gotten married, but it's not a part of the clan. So I wonder if he married and then like was made a part of the clan, that then that clan was wiped out by the Uchi, and he stayed with the Uchi. Interesting. After Konorango comes Kyosuke Morikawa. Who is part of the Nanbu clan, which is the clan that Zerfall and one or two other guys are with. Veteran officer, Lord of a Castle. Not a whole hell of a lot going on with those guys. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm underselling the importance of these creative officers, but that clan has been up there and hasn't really been expanding or being attacked. So I think they've kind of stalemated with like the Date or something. Lady Okatsu, that's like Nobunaga's wife, right? Or Ieyasu's concubine. Okay. Lady Sanjo, isn't that? Yeah, that was Shingen's husband who switched sides. Lord Grimaldus. This is the next created officer that we need to talk about. He is, I believe, the guy who actually created this character is still watching. Somebody who's created officer as part of the Azai is still watching because they'll occasionally make these joking comments about how the Azai are still going strong or we're here if you need us, because he's basically, yeah, if you joined the Azai kind of puttered out. They have not been involved in an epic and exciting battle with the Oda where they would tragically fall, nor have they been really a part of helping the Oda with anything. They're just kind of there. They're our ally. The events that would trigger history to move forward with them haven't happened. So until we get around to attacking the Asakura, which I'm not going to do while these other events are going on. If we do attack the Asakura now, I don't even know if how that would play out. I think we need to wait for Nagamasa to be in charge, and his dad's still in charge. But he's a veteran, Lord of a Castle. Yeah, once you've been around long enough to get that veteran bonus, you pretty much stay in put. Mubu's the man. He's been hasn't been leading his own unit because his leadership's too low, but he's been like the second to a lot of our larger military units, and he has a different vision of the nation from Nobunaga because he thinks that the nation is China and several thousand years earlier. Thousand, yeah. But he's pretty happy otherwise because he got a nice treasure. He's been around for a while. He's no longer getting a castle lord because I don't need him to be, but he's just, some guys are just happy being on a force that's like involved in a lot of war and whatnot. Next up would be Masaki Sakai, although actually I think I've probably got far enough that I can call it a video. So when we come back, folks, we will have another video of catching up with the created officers, and after that we'll actually get into finding out what is it going to look like, a world post anti-Hojo coalition, but not post Hojo. I'm the Mysterious JG. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.